Hey there, I'm Mark from Spectrum Pulse, and today we finally have from Denzel Curry King of the Mischievous South, Volume 2. It's funny, after 2022's spectacular Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, you might think that the standard I would set for Denzel Curry on any future project would be at that level of intricate bars or complexity, but it hasn't really happened, and it's not to disparage his quality at all. No, it's the blunt reality that for every more artistic or critic-friendly project, Denzel Curry is also more than happy to drop basic bangers that are deeply indebted to his roots and influences. In this case, making a sequel to his 2012 mixtape that was largely known as hit and miss, heavily Memphis-inspired, with the big saving grace now that this is considerably shorter and Denzel Curry is a much better rapper over a decade later. And that's arguably the best way to treat this. I initially started wondering if there might be a deeper implied concept, especially as on FLAG FREESTYLE he said he was purposefully dumbing it down, but the more listens I gave, the more I was convinced this is just a natural sequel to that old tape. It's loose, it's heavy, it's swaggering party music with big bass, big hooks, and not a lot else. And that's okay, with the punch-ins and tough talk from Kingpin Skinny Pimp in order to call back to some of that ragged mixtape era, even if they put probably a few too many interludes too close together in the midsection. And one thing I can respect about Denzel Curry is that he's got that entertainment mindset as well. The bars might imply some darker, violent vibes that would craft this ominous sound that's deeply indebted to 3 6 Mafia, but he's also not just an emo rapper, and he can turn up the party as well and be pretty funny. So I was also reminded of his very underrated 2019 project Zoo that was also deeply rooted in Miami sounds. But with all that being established, I really can't say I love this, and a big factor is how relatively low energy Denzel Curry sounds. Not only are his flows more simplistic, but he's not bringing the same hollering intensity, and thus rappers who have a lot more to prove often match or even outshine his flair and volume, like that Mexican OT on FLAG FREESTYLE, Mike Dimes on G's Up, ASAP Ferg on Hot One, or Armani White on the more Miami-infused knock of WISHLIST, a song that was close to being the best here in terms of its hook if Denzel Curry didn't drop a slur midway through his verse about the threesome he is turning down to warn other rappers about the hoes in the industry. And that's not even to speak on the production that even by mixtape standards feels really inconsistent. Ultra Shit leaves that weird tinny filter all over the tire mix that really dampens the impact, not how I would have started the project. Then there's the awful vocal mix for Play That Boy Zay and the shrill synth on HOODLUMZ, the crushingly loud buzzing bass over SKED that somehow gets even oilier and uglier on Hit the Floor that even a good verse from Ski Mask the Slump God can't save, or how Hot One leaves the hook so faded even if I really dug the eerie melody. That's not saying that there aren't bangers that work. I really dug the swaggering knock of G's Up with 2 Chainz and Mike Dimes, even if it does feel dumb as hell, especially 2 Chainz' verse. And Ty Dolla $ign and Juicy J, they complement the slicker production on Cole Pimp, even if that subject matter continues to age rather awkwardly. I'll call it like I see it. But as a whole, look, I really like Denzel Curry a lot. I like party bangers, but I can't say he brought his A game in terms of performance or content. And there's only so many rough edges I can ignore before the slapdash throwback is way too messy for its own good. I know it's probably gonna go off live with the tremendous pit, but that's also true with the majority of Denzel Curry's music, where he didn't compromise his energy or his flows or his content. You can do both. I'm not saying this is bad. There's a lot of flavor, there's solid verses here, the guests are generally pretty good, but as a whole, when I don't also love the melodic hooks and the content kind of washes over me, I'll say it's just decent. It'll play loud for a summer, probably just the one. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to see more, please be sure to like, share, drop comments, subscribe. Yeah, I know Denzel Curry fans, this is another one of my takes that I think is going to age in interesting ways. I know a lot of folks are pretty hyped about this, and I want it to be, but even if I can accept it on its level, there's just too many points that just bounced off me or just did not feel as visceral as I was hoping. And hey, that happens. Beyond that, though, anything else I might be able to do to improve my presentation, I'm all ears. And if y'all want to get involved in helping support the channel, or just get albums on my schedule, or yell at me on my Discord, link to my Patreon is right over there. Don't feel obligated, tough times, I understand, but the option's available. Till then, I'm Mark, you're watching Spectrum Pulse. and I'll see you next time.